and welcome to CoreTV News at 7. I am Olajumoke Olatuju. The Delta State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Asaba has dismissed the prayer of Governor Ifeanyi Okowa of Delta State to stop the Independent National Electoral Commission from giving oral evidence before the election panel. The governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress in Delta State in the April 11 poll, Ologun Ortega Emeho, is contesting the declaration of Okowa, the candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the poll by INEC, as the winner of the governorship election. Okowa, who is the first respondent, his party, the PDP and INEC have moved through motions before the tribunal seeking to stop the electoral umpire from giving oral evidence aside tendering documents relating to the poll. The Justice N.U. Guma-led three-member tribunal had on August 12, 2015 issued a subpoena to the head of ICT department in INEC and INEC to appear before the tribunal to give evidence as expected by Emeho and the APC, who are the petitioners. The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission has directed electricity distribution companies to urgently restructure their fixed charges to ensure that no Nigerian pays for electricity not consumed. The discourse have also been directed to discontinue the practice of bulk metering. This allows, according to NERC, is in line with a recent resolution passed by the Senate ordering it to look into complaints by consumers of electricity over indiscriminate billing. The Senate's resolution followed the motion by Senator Sam Ego of Ebonyi North and David Umara of Niger East, which drew attention to unfair trade practices of electricity distribution companies in the country. The Commission had, in a 7-page response to the Senate's query, said it had asked the distribution companies to find a way to restructure the fixed charge such that no one is made to pay for electricity not consumed. In demonstration of African solidarity, President Buhari had sent former President Olusegun Obasanjo as his special envoy to mediate and help find a solution to the crisis brewing in Guinea-Bissau. President Buhari is deeply concerned by the unfolding political situation in Guinea-Bissau following the dismissal of the Prime Minister Domingos Simões Pereira and his cabinet by President José Mario Vaz. Chief Obasanjo embarked on the first leg of his mission by consulting with the current chairman of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government, President Macky Sall of Senegal, in Dakar on Thursday. It is regrettable that while Chief Obasanjo was still consulting with President Sall, President José Mario Vaz of Guinea-Bissau proceeded to appoint and swear in a new Prime Minister in the person of Barrister Jah, a development that's worsened situation. The Kaduna State government has announced that applicants for recently advertised job openings in its teaching service and traffic enforcement agency are not required to pay any fees or buy any forms. It says applicants are only required to submit their applications at the advertised places. A government statement explained that candidates who meet the required standards will be contacted for the next stage of the recruitment process. Former Governor of Lagos State and national leader of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Tinubu, has challenged editors in the country to support the fight against corruption in the country. He also called on them to support the presidential media aides so as to make their jobs less challenging. Tinubu spoke through the Edo State Governor Adams Ojomole during the Nigerian Guild of Editors reception for Femi Adesina and Garba Shehu in Abuja on Friday night. Additional Shehu, who both former presidents of the NGE, were recently appointed special advisor and senior special assistant, media and publicity, respectively, to President Muhammadu Buhari. Tinubu, who was the chairman of the occasion, said the two media aides needed the guild's support to make their jobs easier. The Anambra State chapter of the Labour Party has condemned the stoppage of sponsorship of pilgrims to Jerusalem by the Governor Willie Obiano-led government. Obiano last week announced that the state government will no longer sponsor pilgrims to the Holy Land as a measure to cut down the cost of governance. The Labour Party, in a press conference on Saturday in Awka, the state capital, by State Chairman Luke Ezeano Kwaza and other executive members of the party, however, describes the governor's pronouncement as hypocritical and misplaced. The party maintains that Obiano administration is spending more on the things that are not beneficial to the people of the state. It says pilgrimage to the Holy Land was key in the lives of Christians, especially at a time of moral decadence such as the society is currently witnessing. The party noted that to deny the people such privilege amounts to insensitivity to the needs of the people. The party pointed out that most projects initiated by the former governor of the state, Peter Obi, have been abandoned by the incumbent regime. The Yobe State government says it has developed a document to be submitted to the State Assembly to enact a law against open defecation. General Manager Rural Water Supply and Sanitation Agency Mohammed Bukar disclosed this to newsmen in Damaturu. He said the agency has conducted experiments in Nguru and Bada local government areas using the local government's technology and recorded huge success. This is still CoreTV News at 7. We'll take a break. I'll be back on my stories. Please stay with us.
Is it crazy or autocracy? Or what type of crazy is that? Except crazy.
News making the headlines.
Black Maria is to carry criminals, child looters that are in government today.
Sometimes it gets confrontational.
Slap you in the face. Excuse me, don't put words into my mouth.
Whatever it is that will bring our military to the secret. I said to hell
On Core Digest,
I want to know why I should be believing them.
every weekday, we bring all of these together and take them to the court of public opinion.
Everybody has a right in Nigeria.
Where you are the judge.
And thanks for joining us again. For more news and other programs, please visit our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/CoreTV News. You can follow us on Twitter at CoreTV News and G. Also visit our YouTube channel at youtube.com/CoreTV the News. The Department of Petroleum Resources of Plateau State says that over 55 illegal filling stations are operating in the state. The state operations controller Malam Idris Abubakar stated this after picketing at some of the illegal filling stations. Abubakar attributed existence of these illegal gas stations on the activities of law enforcement agencies and government officials to the state government. The details.
The move by the Plateau State branch of the DPR led to the discovery of over 50 illegal filling stations in the state metropolis. After picketing some of the legal and nameless filling stations, the operations controller of the state DPR, Idris Abubakar, and head of retailing, Yakubu Shehu, laments the inability of the state government to rise against the legitimate operation of the unapproved filling stations in the state.
We have come now, we have confirmed their claim that they have reverted to sell the product at government price is false. Because if you can see now, they give 8 liters as 10 liters. Despite the fact that they are displaying 87 naira. But based on our measurement, they are still selling at about 100 naira per liter.
So what's going to happen to them?
No, the sanction will still remain.
Which is?
We will impose a sanction of about a month to serve as a deterrent to others.
The main purpose of this exercise is to get products readily available to the public at approved pump price. There is no gainsaying if you, for example, sell a station and there is product down there that you will not now go back. Make sure the product gets to the public at the approved pump price. Then, if that product is exhausted and we still feel the station should remain so, we know that at least there is no product going to the public. But we won't sell a station and keep products on the ground. It doesn't really speak well of the system.
With allegations ranging from selling petrol above the official rate of 87 naira, selling to black marketers against most filling stations, Abubakar says the move is not to put anybody out of business, but to enforce existing law guiding the operation of filling stations.
This station, actually, as I told you, we have compiled the list and sent it to JMD because we have met with them some years back and they asked us for the list. We have compiled the list and give them. So we thank God now with the new government in place, we are still calling on the government to see what they can do. With just list, they should help us to dismantle all these stations because we have not licensed them. As you can see, all the stations licensed by DPR, you will see their men displaced from the canopy. And you see how this station is. It's not even safe for operations.
The number of illegal stations as at 2003, when we went, sorry, as at 2013, when we went out and did our census survey, was 55, but that is 2013. By now, that number will have gone somehow higher than this.
The enforcement body, however, assured Nigerians of its resolve to flush out bad eggs sabotaging the growth of the oil and gas sector.
Nikita is one of the host communities to Federal University of Technology, and the Federal Polytechnic was soon be quoted from neighboring communities and the entire country. Following the gully erosion that almost cut off the only routes into the community, our Imo State correspondent Ajibade Wofeso visited the community and found in this report.
Residents of Nekade, a community within Owerri, which plays host to two higher institutions, a Federal Polytechnic and Federal University of Technology, FUTO, have called on the state government to come to their aid and prevent them from being cut off from other parts of the city. The road linking the community to Owerri, the capital of Imo State, has been cut almost totally, with youth now making quick money from motorists while pedestrians trek through for fear of accident. Traditional ruler of the area and all the local complaints that all effort to attract the attention of the state government to do something about the road have not yielded any result.
It's been a long-term problem with us in this place because that issue has been very much reported to the state government, which we believe by now that they should have done some certain things in that place. But now, all to no avail, nothing has been done. And it has gone into a stage where rain has met it, and then I don't believe there's anything can be done now until the rain is over.
We are praying, let government come and help us. We are suffering too much. Before we are managing it, now it's spoiled.
As you can see, the road is in a terrible condition. And we have been appealing to the government for a long time to come to our aid. But up to this moment, we have not seen any help from them.
The State Ministry of Work has, however, created the diversion to serve as an alternative route and to also pave way for the reconstruction of the road.
Our National Sugar Festival attracted worshippers and tourists from different parts of the world gathered in Osun State, southwestern Nigeria, to worship the river goddess. This year's edition, however, witnessed no attendance not taken away at the celebration. Our correspondent Rashid Rashid has more.
The Osun Osogbo Festival has no doubt attained international standard, and thanks to Susan Wenger, also known as Aduni Olorisha, whose 100th posthumous birthday coincided with this year's edition.
The work she has done down is what we are eating today. So that is why this year's festival is very, very important.
The crowd at the festival this year is relatively low compared to past years. But for ardent worshippers who cannot but make annual requested sacrifices to the Osun goddess, the festival is a must for them.
No matter the situation, you must pick a day to recognize how you are being created by Almighty God. We have an history, we have a background which we have to protect. If we don't continue with this kind of festival, how do you expect the incoming generation to know where we are coming from? If you don't know where you are coming from, you will not know where you are going. And all over the world, people don't toy away with their culture.
Is to give acknowledgement to Osun and to fulfill the promise that our ancestors made with Osun when Osun gave protection to the city of Osogbo, and for her to give blessing of children for those who want to have the children.
The arrival of the votary maid into the Osun Grove marks the climax of the celebration and a time to make requests to the river goddess.
The 2015 Osun Osogbo Festival is of a practical significance because it marks the 100th posthumous birthday of Susan Wenger, popularly known as Aduni Olorisha. And as some people see Osun-Osogbo Festival as a religious feat, some see it as a tourist attraction which brings people all over the world. But whichever way it goes, it is no doubt that the Osun-Osogbo Festival has come to stay as an integral part of the cultural history of Nigeria. Rashid, CoreTV News, Osogbo.
The West African Examination Council says it is not considering the adoption of a computer-based mock test of examinations. Head of Nigerian National Office of the body, Charles Agurdo, made a declaration at an interactive session with journalists in Abuja. Agurdo says it would amount to what he called intellectual dishonesty for him to say that the council would introduce CBT in the next 5 years or in the near future. Agurdo stressed that the purpose of education is to prepare people for life, not to pass examinations, hence the need to examine different domains which CBT cannot accommodate. He said examinations conducted by the council took into cognizance the 3 domains that measured ability to recall, ability to apply, and practicalize. This is still CoreTV News at 4. We'll take another break. I'll be back on our stories. Please don't go away.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Stories outside Nigeria. Hawker Hunter plane has crashed into several vehicles after coming down a Shoreham airshow in West Sussex. Police in Sussex say there are several casualties but could not give details on their condition. The plane crashed into vehicles on the nearby A27. The road is likely to remain closed for several hours. Eyewitnesses Stephen Jones said the plane was performing a loop but did not complete the maneuver and crashed. Police, however, say it ended up in a bush. The plane, according to eyewitnesses, seems to have stalled mid-maneuver and came crashing down on the A27. The aspirate smell and thick black smoke has just been found across the area, and the skies are completely quiet. Shoreham Airshow also tweeted, "There has been a major incident outside the airfield boundary. It is the second incident at the Shoreham Airshow in recent years. In September 2007, James Bond stuntman Brian Brown, 49, died when he crashed a World War II Hurricane after carrying out an unplanned barrel roll at a reenactment of the Battle of Britain. An explosion has been reported at the chemical plant in China's eastern province of Shandong. Large flames can be seen from the site of the blast in Zibo County. There are so far no reports of any casualties, but there is a residential area about 1 kilometer from the plant. Earlier this month's blast in the northern city of Tianjin killed at least 116 people. Saturday's blast took place in the city of Zibo, though it is not yet clear if homes in the area have been damaged. The Xinhua news agency reported that the explosion triggered a fire and that a dozen fire engines were at the scene. The operators of the Tianjin site are being investigated for allowing dangerous chemicals to be stored too close to homes. The blaster also raised fears of contamination by toxic substances. They also sparked the nationwide directive cracking down on the storage of chemicals. In the world of sport, some young talents have been discovered at a 3-day volleyball clinic organized by the National Sports Commission and the Kaduna State Volleyball Association. Association Chairman Musa Nurod, who disclosed this, also promised to host a volleyball clinic yearly. He noted that such exercise go a long way in stirring talented youngsters to good path instead of involving themselves in drugs and other dangerous habits. Amina Nebi has more this report presented from our studios.
The 3-day clinic attracted participants across the Northwest region. At the end of the exercise, Chairman of the State Volleyball Association promised to make it an annual event.
This is Volley for All Festival, and to be candid, thanks goes back to God. These are young children, close to 200, that have gathered this week and it is beyond man's understanding. So we have sunk our hand into the pot. We can't remove it again until we see the bottom part of that pot.
Zonal Coordinator, National Sports Commission Bode Durotoye, also had good words for the organizing committee.
I am highly impressed, and we thank God that the whole thing went on smoothly, and we have a lot of participants. And it's our prayer that we will make it another event. For us to be able to discover some talented players within just 3 days, you know that means they really enjoy the training. Many of the kids have never played football in their lifetime, and it's here they were taught, and many of them are pickets.
Some of the youths are excited at the opportunity to participate in the clinic.
I feel that we have future for this. The program they did is very, very nice. It made us to know that we are potential grassroots players in volleyball. Although we came in, we never had any idea on the game. But these 3 days clinic have given us an opportunity for us to go and continue in the game and improve ourselves for the future.
I learned some things about the volleyball, how to do the under throwing. I'm going to advise them to join the volleyball, training.
I feel very great, and Kai, this has been a very good joy to me, Kai, and I advise my fellow students that they should come and play volleyball.
The clinic is planned along a strategy that is used in developed countries where young talents are nurtured to stardom. The organizers say participants who excelled would be nurtured to play for the national team in the future.
Barcelona started the defense of the La Liga title on Sunday at Athletic Bilbao. The team who crushed them 5-1 on aggregates in the Spanish Super Cup. Luis Enrique's squad appears weaker than last season's treble-winning selection, with Pedro and Xavi leaving. Summer signees Ander Turan and Alex Vido cannot play until January because of a transfer ban. Real Madrid began their season under new boss Rafael Benitez with a march away to newly promoted Sporting Gijon. The sacked Carlo Ancelotti after finishing 2 points behind Barca and existing in the Champions League semi-final. Benitez's major outfit signees have been right back Danilo from Porto and midfielder Matteo Kovacic from Inter Milan. Britain's Xander Murray fought back to beat Frenchman Richard Gasquet and set up a semi-final against Roger Federer at the Cincinnati Masters. A third seed saved a match point against Grigor Dimitrov on Thursday, won 4-6, 6-1, 6-4 on Friday. Murray says, and I quote, "I fought and gave everything I had, but thankfully it's just been enough for the last 2 days." Federer beat Feliciano Lopez 6-3, 6-4, while Novak Djokovic and Alexander Djokovic reached the order semi. Well, that's the wrap of CoreTV News at 7 minutes. Thanks for watching. I'm Elijah.